Welcome everyone to today's webinar. I am Soumya Bish, Social Media Manager at AI CERTs, and I'll be your host today. Thank you for joining us, and we're delighted to have participants from across Australia, New Zealand, and the wider APAC region. So, as we already know, today's session is titled Building an AI Training Practice in One of the World's Fastest Growing AI Regions. Now, enterprise AI adoption across Australia and New Zealand has moved past the pilot stage, and organizations are under real pressure to upskill. For training providers, that's a commercial opportunity with a short window. And today, we look at what it takes to stand up an AI training practice, courseware delivery model, and economics. It's my pleasure to introduce Rajjat Seth, Sales Operation Manager at AI Certs. Rajat is a seasoned sales and business operations professional with extensive experience in driving revenue growth, optimizing sales processes, and building strategic partnerships. At AI Certs, he plays a key role in expanding partner relationships and supporting organizations as they capitalize on the growing demand for AI certifications. So, with that, we can start with the webinar. Rajat, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Soumya. Thanks for the introduction. Hi, everybody. So, while Soumya has already introduced me, I directly work with the training providers across the region to help them build and scale their AI certification business. Now, here's what I would want to add, or I would want to, discuss with you over the next a little while that we're going to be together. I'm going to show you how the training providers across APAC are moving beyond the one of AI awareness workshops. And apart from that, turning this into a really scalable, repeatable enterprise learning business. Now, that's what is more important to be noticed and, to be laid a thought upon. We'll cover why most providers are getting stuck and what the enterprise ready ones are doing differently to scale up in the market, and what infrastructure that actually takes to build, and how AI certs can actually can have you plugged straight into the infrastructure instead of building it yourself from the scratch. So let's talk a little deep and a little more in detail about it. Why most training providers are missing APAC's next wave. So that's something, to start with the core problem. Now, there is a big difference between typically running an AI awareness workshop and building a repeatable revenue model around the enterprise. So, and right now, most of the providers are stuck doing the formal part. Let's look at what the most of the providers currently offer. Usually, usually if you look at it, one market AI awareness, it's usually the workshops that you would see or come across in the market are one market AI awareness workshops. The content has to be rebuilt manually for every new geography. The credentials they issue have limited recognition outside that one market, and the delivery now that's the most important aspect. Completely and entirely depends on whoever the local instructor happens to be. But these are certain elements that actually cost you. Every new market means new content, new positioning, right from the scratch. Your credibility has to be built with every single layer. Compliance expectations are different from one country to another. We all know that and we understand that. Delivering the quality between it delivering the quality becomes extremely inconsistent, and the sales cycles slow down completely. It goes up to probably a 6 to 9 months to a year. So how do we create the repeatable business? Now, comparing that to an enterprise ready providers, the providers have built instead industry aligned role role based certifications, or role focused certifications as we call it, vendor aligned curriculum, portable digital credentials, and the standardized delivery and assessment models. Now that's the real deal I'm talking about. And here's the payoff: buyers trust the offer faster. Why do they do that? Because the credentials travel across APAC, different markets, across different employees. Delivery becomes repeatable. Localization becomes adaptation. Localization basically becomes gets into adaptation and not reinvention over and over and over again. Now, that's what is important to be noted, that we do not want to reinvent every time, because that's what costs a lot of time and effort and completely pushes you by almost 3 to 6 months. So here's what the bottom line is: our path leads to a business that can win isolated workshops, but struggles to scale. The other leads to a business built to capture enterprise demand across multiple APAC markets. Now, that's what the bottom line is, and that's what the entire idea of this discussion will be. Sorry. What APAC providers need to get right to launch a certified AI practice in 30 days? Let's look at it deeply. Now, there are building blocks, in an enterprise AI workforce readiness business: globally recognized certification, standards and compliance, and a proven partner ecosystem. And here's the thing: rebuilding any one of these, market by market, is exactly what slows down the entire process. Now, let's start with the certifications. Buyers need role-based certifications that are aligned to the real job functions, vendor-aligned curriculum, credentials that travel across APAC, and a recognized uh, certification structure. Why does building market by market fail? Now, that's what is important, because recognition has to be re-earned in every geography. Now, that's again a time-consuming process. It's built over and over again. It definitely slows down the entire process. Role-based pathways take time to rebuild, and your content and positioning fragment over a period of time. Now, the second, standards and compliance, extremely important aspect that we look at. The buyers need compliance with APAC data regulations, quality documentation, audit ready training records, and ROI measurement frameworks. Building this alone fails because every APAC market operates under a different regulatory framework. Please take a note of it. Yes, and something that I'm completely aware of, being associated with the APAC market for a while now, that the regulatory framework or of every market in the APAC is definitely operates at a very different level and has different requirements. Yes, absolutely, a very valid point. Legal and compliance work multiplies fast, documentation gets inconsistent, and market entry slows with every geography you add. Now, a proven partner ecosystem, now that's the third point, which is the extremely important point, that a proven partner ecosystem. Buyers want a track record of successful enterprises, AI learning implementations, multi-market delivery capability, and enterprise client references. So that's something that everybody vouches for. Doing doing this independently fails because credibility takes years to build alone. Expansion proof is hard to manufacture. New markets and repeatable support systems and delivery just gets harder as you expand. It does. Now, so the question becomes, do you build all three of these yourself, market by market, or do you plug into the infrastructure that's already solved this problem? Let's talk about why why the speed matters here first. Now, the complexity here is very real if we talk about it. Okay. And that's exactly why providers and enterprise ready repeatable infrastructure are the ones capturing the next wave faster than anybody else. The first challenge, let's look at the regulatory fragmentation. Every APAC market has different expectations and evaluates the workforce readiness providers very differently. What works in one market will definitely not or translate into another one. Every new geography adds legal and positioning work, and expansion slows down. Every time materials have to be rebuilt, as I have mentioned a couple of times earlier as well. You know, the material, the content, which is the base of any training, if it has to be rebuilt again every time and again, it will definitely slow down the entire process. Now, the second challenge, instructor availability, extremely important again. Now, something that's to be taken note of, APAC spans multiple time zones. Now, qualified AI instructors and their availability, they are hard to hire and retain. Now, that's something that we have noticed. And the same small talent pool is being consistent or contested across every sector. Now, the result is nothing but new market launches, they get delayed without ready instructor ready support, and the delivery quality varies significantly by the location. The third challenge, rapid AI evolution. Now, that's something that's the result. AI tools and models, they change constantly. Now, as we see that AI, the market of AI, a 321 billion market of AI, and I'm talking about in dollars, 320 billion dollars. That's the AI market currently that we are sitting in. You know, the tools and the models, they change consistently. When I say constantly, rather, and how do we keep our learners relevant? Now, that's the question that is important. So the workforce readiness content, it becomes stale very fast, and the localization adds even more lag to every updated cycle. By the time the markets, the mark by the time one market's content gets ready or updated, another market may already be behind, and that's happening. That does happen. What is the solution to this? Expansion turns into a constant cycle of rebuilding. So here's the the through line across of all three of these providers that standardize the core offer and adapt locally. Now, please take a note that the providers that standardize the core offer and adapt locally rather than rebuilding from scratch every time are the ones who are moving faster and the ones who win. So, why single market AI offers cannot support a 30-day certified practice? Now, I would want to walk you through this actual, questions would ask, enterprise buyers would ask you, and also show you why single market offers really struggle to answer them, and why the scalable models win instead. So I'll cover the top three questions that are being asked into the market every now and then. The first question being, how do you keep training relevant as AI changes this fast? Single market offers fail here because the updates are slow and resource intensive. Localization delays the rollout, and multiple markets fall out of sync with each other. Scalable models win because updates reduce the rework across every market vendor aligned. Pathways, they stay current automatically, and the markets can adapt and deploy faster. Now, the second buyer question, very important. Why should we trust this offer across teams or markets? Now, generic workshops, they have never helped. they lack the durable market value. Absolutely. The market offers like the generic workshops, they lack the value. Internal credentials, if we talk about, they don't travel very well. And the credibility has to be rebuilt over and over again, or rather explained every time. Scalable models win because the role-based certifications create clearer relevance, recognition improves the buyer confidence, and one strong offer can serve multiple segments at once. And the third and the final question, and the most important one practically, the how do you ensure consistent outcomes across locations? Single market offers fail because delivery values delivery varies by the instructor. Learner outcomes vary by the region, and quality control gets harder the more you expand. Scalable models win the standardized curriculum, instructor enablement that supports repeatability, and outcomes that are actually easier to measure across the markets. Out, just a recap that I would like to give you here: outdated content, weak market recognition, inconsistent quality. These are the three failures uh, that we, you know, the one that push any buyer or push any training provider in the market. Okay, continuing with the same, the three more objections that the enterprise would raise. Now, let's look at
Rajat,
another
sorry
three.
to cut you off in between. Actually, the presentation, can you please check the presentation? It's on this third slide.
Mhm. Is still on the third slide. Is it visible now?
It's on the first slide right now.
Okay, then I think there's a problem with my 1 second.
Yes, yes. Now we can see the next slide. Yes.
Okay, I'm putting it back on the slideshow mode. Just let me know if is
Yeah,
it visible
this
now.
looks good. Yes, yes, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for that. Okay, so the fourth question: how will this align with the local procurement? Now, that's again a very important element. A single market offer fails because the compliant gets recreated now. Now, manual recreation is something that, of course, involves a lot of time and effort. Documentation differs by the market, and the risk goes up with every new geography. Scalable models win because the standards align. Models are easier to adapt, documentation can be reused, and enterprise buyers have less execution risk. Now, the fifth question: how fast do you launch in our market? A single market offer usually fails, go to market assets have to be relaunched. So, any manual effort will definitely fail, or rather, push it back by months, I would rather say. And that's exactly what's causing the issue. Now, going back to the same question, delivery setup slows down the expansion, and new launches just take too long. Scalable models win because the core offer is already built, delivery systems are ready to get activated, and new market entry becomes faster. Moving on to the next question, and the last one: can you show this model actually is working across the markets? Now, the going back to the single market offer, you know, it again goes down from the point of expansion because the expansion claims they feel untested and the buyer hesitation increases. Scalable models win because the ecosystem scale strengthens the trust, existing proof supports new market entry, and expansion feels credible instead of experimental. Now, So across both these, you know, the questions that we have discussed on both the last two slides, I would rather highlight certain points that long delivery timelines, cross market compliance burden, no proof of scalability are the ones are the points which are actually pushing back or leading to a failure to the conventional training providers. Now let's look at what the winning model will actually look like in practice. So now here's the payoff. When we are talking about role-based certification, we have an entire portfolio which is currently not 70 plus but 85 plus certifications that open the multiple enterprise buyer segments across the APAC market. Now that's a proven ecosystem, existing scale and proof points that strengthen the credibility with every new enterprise market you will enter. Now that's important to be noted yet again. Speed to launch. Launch once in a market, then expand your AI portfolio without rebuilding the core certified offer. Cross market readiness. When I talk about the compliance awareness positioning built for the full diversity of APAC's regulatory environments and the quality assurance, standardized curriculum, instructor enablement, and measurable enterprise AI learning outcomes. So, the line I would want you to remember here, most important, the fastest growing APAC partners are not the ones rebuilding their AI awareness business for every new market. They are the ones who are scaling repeatable, certified workforce readiness revenue model across multiple APAC geographies. And of course, with the right infrastructure already behind it that we are offering you. Now let's look at the timeline and the cost and the risk. But if I talk about the timeline, 3 to 6 months per market, that's a real, that's a real cost before you've made any single revenue. Now, if I look at the cost, yet again, content adaptation, localization, instructor enablement, go-to-market rebuild, compliance setup, all of it, right from the scratch every single time. The risk, inconsistent positioning, delayed launches, and the rising complexity as we try to manage multiple markets that are that that were built already built independently of each other. The result of extremely fragmented enterprise AI workforce program that gets harder to scale with every new geography you add. Now, which is exactly the opposite of what you actually want. Think about it. What we are looking at, and we are doing exactly the opposite of it, and that's the result. And here's the reality check. By the time you rebuild for the next market, the faster moving competitors are already there. If I talk about the Now, if I talk about the timeline, weeks to launch and faster still to expand into additional markets after that. Now, when we look at AI certs, and the readiness of, the program readiness that we're talking about or mentioning here, you know, in a conventional typical market, it would take at least to probably do a training need identification and an analysis and to come up with and to build a program anywhere between 3 to 6 months and to launch it and full-fledgedly deliver it probably 9 months to 1 year. Now we are talking about 45 days. I'm talking about literally about 40 to 45 days, or rather weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. That's the timeline I am exactly talking about here, and we are good to go to get launched into the market with AI certs. 85 plus role-based certifications, which are completely vendor-aligned curriculum. Now, vendor-aligned, if I talk about, just to give you a little detail here, vendor-aligned is nothing but. where we provide you hands-on practice on all the leading platforms of the world: Microsoft, OpenAI, AWS. Hands-on practice. 70% practical knowledge, 30% theory. So that's what is more important. In today's time, where everybody wants to know how to increase their productivity, that is exactly what is important. Proven partner ecosystems, ready to use, go to market support, instructor enable, and platform access. You get it from right from day one. You get onboarded with us. The risk extremely lower because the core infrastructure already exists. We've built it for you. We have everything readily available for you. 40 days and you're ready to go to the market and start selling or start delivering, rather, as I call it. Now, the result: a multi market enterprise AI workforce transformation program that expands with more speed and a lot of less reinvention, less manual intervention, less manual work, recreation of content. Everything goes down, reduces considerably. That's exactly what we're talking about. Few of our top partners that you can also see on the website: Netcom Learning, Fastlane, Tech Train College, IT College, Defense Network. You can see this on the website as well. 115K learners until now, 500 plus instructors across the globe, 85 plus certifications, 300 global partners, 90 plus countries we have our presence. Now that's something to be really, you know, thought about when we talk about this. Now, let's look at the complete stack behind a certified AI practice. What do you get? You get 85 plus certifications, role-based programs like developer, executive, AI for executive, business. Now, when I talk about the business category, we have a lot of programs under the same: security, ethics, etc. It's built for the APAC demand-driven enterprise aligned government, and they are government compliant as well. Now, that's something important to be noted, that we follow the compliance of ISO 17024 2012. Now, that's something we believe in. We are demand driven completely, enterprise aligned, government compliant, vendor aligned, for APAC, for entire APAC region. Now, we also update our content every quarter. The content is updated every 8 to 12 weeks, and the updates are readily available in the LMS. The learner does not have to download anything or go back and check from somewhere else. No, it's already there. We update because we want to keep our learners relevant in the market. Talking about the exams, credible certification, a proctored certification platform called the Proctor 365, that supports both remote and in-person exam administration. Now, that's what is important. We built an in-house system of proctoring where your learner could be sitting anywhere across the world, across the globe, and hence we can still see how they are appearing for the exam. That can still be controlled with the proctoring system. Global standards, as I said, we are completely compliant to ISO IEC 17024 standards, and that's the vendor endorsement that we have. And the blockchain backed digital verification called CERT 365. Now, that employers can directly verify. We don't need for to verify on whose name the certificate has been issued or who has actually cleared the certification. One, we control that by proctoring. That there is no malpractices, there is no cheating. Now, the second part, when the certificate has been issued, can be verified by anyone with with a barcode scanner. Now that's the digital verification I'm talking about, and it cannot be tampered. It cannot be fiddled around with. It's completely tamper-proof. So when we talk about such, uh, you know, s- such in-house, elements that are available, I think it adds value in its own way. The employers can, verify directly, and then an exam engine which is built to handle thousands of concurrent learners. Now, it's not that, we're talking about a few number of learners who can come and give in an exam at a given point in time. No, it can handle thousands of learners. The go-to-market support. Now, the go-to-market support, the co-branded marketing assets like landing pages, email templates, materials, a partner portal with LMS and courseware from day one. Demand generation through co-hosted webinars and lead generation campaigns. Train the trainer, plus the faculty upskilling and an analytics dashboard so that you can track your learners' ROI, outcomes, and your revenue as well. Everything under the same portfolio. You get everything. You get the access to content, you get access to exams that I spoke about, and an entire go to market support. You do not need to build any kind of marketing from the scratch. Lead generation support is provided, enterprise pitch ready. We will even train our customer success manager and product marketing managers. Even they will even train your sales team. If you have an outreach team, we'll train them on how to go ahead and position the product into the market, or how to pitch for these certifications. Some of the few certifications that are already available, that are there, you can see or check our website. We have 85 plus certifications. These are the ones, the a few top selling ones that we mentioned over here. Now, when I talk about one subscription to power your entire APAC, one portfolio, multiple revenue opportunities, just to make that, you know, a little more concrete. Think AI Everyone fundamentals for a broad organization wide rollout. Now, AI for everyone is a foundation level program that can be rolled out to anybody. Rather, people should take it. Everybody should be able to do a foundation level program. AI executive fundamentals for leadership, AI developer, AI engineer practitioner for technical teams, AI data practitioner, and AI data agent, especially for the data teams, finance practitioner, finance agent for the finance functions, ethic fundamentals, ethical hacking practitioner, and so on and so forth for the governance and security. Now, these are different layers. We start right from the literacy level, which is the foundation level programs, move to the fluency, where role-based application tracks are being delivered, which is more specific to the job roles, and then we move to the advanced certifications, especially for the top leaders and the specialists of the fields. Now, the commercial opportunity for the partners, if I look at, or if I talk about, minimum 50 subscriptions. Now, that's the bare minimum investment we are talking about. A purchase of 50 subscriptions to start with. Now, you can walk into one enterprise account and sell across HR, finance, engineering, customer service, and leadership all at once, instead of pitching a single generic AI workshop. That's exactly the difference that it creates. We start with minimum. Anyone to become a partner with us starts with a bare minimum of 50 subscriptions per enterprise, one per user license, one price, zero complexity, automatic inclusion of all new certifications. So we launch a lot of new certifications every month, every quarter. You get access to all of them. These subscriptions that you purchase from us, the investment that you do, come as credits to your account, and these credits are available to for you to sell to your learners at their. Now, the idea here is, you know your market very well. You know what is the paying capacity of the learner, right? You can sell these certifications accordingly, make your own profit margins, and these certifications are available for you to you for 1 year to be sold out. That's exactly why we talk about annual subscriptions create recurring partner. It's available for an entire year. Now, curriculum, if I talk about different pillars, the curriculum, let's talk about the curriculum and content. Ready to use full courseware. We have already created the content which is constantly updated. As I said, once in a quarter, these are updated. No content building, no SME hiring, no curriculum design, nothing that you practically have to look into. All you need to do is the content that's readily available, and it's good to go, and you can start delivering. The global credibility, vendor aligned curriculum, ISO IEC certifications aligned or compliant, as I call it, and it's globally recognized credentials that are portable across employers and stackable micro credentials plus verified skill assessments. Now, as I mentioned earlier, also these credentials can be verified by a barcode scanner. They are under We are compliant to ISO IEC 17024 2012. These are globally recognized credentials, completely, and these can be validated, and uh, these are throughout APAC. They can be they can be used. Now, if I talk about on time to revenue, you launch your first program in weeks, as I mentioned, 4 to 6 weeks. Weeks. You do not have to wait for months. Zero content development time and ready to use delivery materials. That's extremely important. That your time reduces to 40 to 45 days. The technology stack that we are providing, we already giving you access to the exam engine, proctor certification platform, LMS, cloud-based AI labs. We have labs which are available on the technical side of certifications. Hands-on practice that I talked about will be the learners will be given access to Jupyter labs. That's the environment we have created within the LMS itself, where they can go ahead and practice. Integration ready works with your existing systems. The LMSs, if you have an existing LMS, great. We can also integrate our LMS into your LMS system. Support systems train the trainer. As I said, that we would be training your trainers. It's a part of the deal. We would be training your trainers on all the certifications that you would choose from us. Instructor enablement plus resource libraries. We have the instructors that can be enabled, and the resource libraries that are already available. Continuous content updates, as I mentioned earlier. Also, we update the content every quarter. In one sentence, the pillar one, it removes every reason you would otherwise need 6 months and a big budget just to get started. Now, looking at the other aspects, the pillar number two, the marketing assets, co-branded marketing materials that aren't a cookie cutter templates. They are localized marketing kits, professional landing pages, and email campaigns, plus social assets, webinar decks, and case studies. On Learner AI ROI demonstration, outcome dashboards covering completion rates, exam scores, and certifications that are issued, industry salary benchmarks per certification showing a 15 to 25% premium, and AI adoption case studies drawn from the global enterprises. Now, talking about the regional advantage, APAC specific market campaigns is also something that we would provide you value propositions tailored specifically for India, ASEAN, Japan, and Singapore, and the regional compliance and the market positioning support that we provide. With demand generation, we will provide you with co-branded marketing templates and campaigns, partner directory listing with lead generation, regional event and conference supports. We do co-branded events and webinars, by the way, just for your knowledge, twice a month, where we would promote your training company along with the CERTs. Every lead, any lead that comes to us directly asking for an instructor-led environment or an instructor has an instructor-led requirement, we pass on that lead directly to the training partner we have collaborated with and for whom we are conducting that webinar or co-branded event. So that's direct business for you that we provide. Enterprise proposal and documentation support is also something that we give. Micro modular programs, ready to use AI learning tracks, faster sales cycles, stackable credentials, and flexible packaging. Now, the pillar number three, if I talk about the profit, this is about scaling a high margin AI business. Now, on flexible revenue models, you can deliver instructor led cohorts and control your own pricing, launch self paced online programs, run corporate training deals with the enterprise contracts, or blend delivery methods in a hybrid model. On scalabilities, we start with a single certification, expand to the and we can expand to the full portfolio over time. Go from one single market to the multi market, for example, India to Singapore to broader ASEAN. Build recurring revenue through annual enterprise contracts, and of course grow the into long term multi-year partnerships. Now, the on margin structure, if I talk about, you will earn on every learner, whether it's per seat or per licensing. Your margins scale as volume increases. Pricing is transparent and predictable with no royalty creep. Now, that's something to be noticed. One second, please. So we offer the competitive advantage that we are offering here is the global certifications. They deliver faster than the competitors. Command premium pricing. Now, the pricing, as I spoke about, you know your market very well. You can have the pricing placed or created as per the as per what the learner can pay. You know them very well. You can have you will purchase from us at a particular price point, which is of course a discounted price. We will share the entire pricing list with you post this, and you can purchase from us at a particular price point, and then what you will sell at, the profit margins are completely up to you. As I said, you know your market very well. You know how much a particular learner can pay. So have the profits mapped accordingly. And we do not ask for any kind of annual subscription or a partnership fee or any other charge. It's just a bare minimum 50 subscriptions to start with is what you need to purchase to get into a collaboration partnership with AI Certs. Now, four different type of partnership models that I'm talking about. Authorized training partner, which is the ATP model, delivering certification aligned training with full instructor kits, assessments. Most of our, most of the partners that we have across the globe right now are authorized training partners, ATPs basically. And then we have the academic alliance partner, which is where if you are associated more with colleges, universities, more associated with colleges and universities. That's where you can become an academic alliance partner with us, an academic partner with us, and you can go ahead and also, you know, uh, and then we give you a pricing which is more suitable from a perspective where the learner is a student, a non-working professional. And then, of course, we have association partners where, if you are a federation or a professional association or a larger, uh, you know, a larger body, as I call it, that is where we can have an association partner. Affiliate partners are basically the partnership we offer to influencers, consultants, career coaches, educators. You can also become an affiliate partner with us. But the two top partnership models, the authorized training partner for all the training companies, training institutes, training companies, uh, if I talk about, and edtech platforms. Okay, this is how our partners portal. I talked about the partners portal. This is exactly how the partners portal looks like, where the partners can manage, grow, and scale. You can see the total number of students you have enrolled, the exams that have been attempted, the certifications that have been completed, everything in a dashboard view under the same platform. Access the full course catalog, track every learner's progress, ready-made co-branded marketing assets that are available in the partners portal, manage certifications, exams, and renewals, and monitor your revenue and payouts. Now, this is exactly how our LMS works. Sorry, it has four different modalities. The learners can go ahead and listen, watch, read, and discuss. Now, the conventional ways of learning, listening and watching. What we have added here is the new age way of learning is basically where two people are discussing, you know, where two people are actually discussing and about a particular topic. Now that's the new way of learning, and an ebook for many people who are avid readers, including myself. We would love to read and learn. So we've added four different modalities where you can listen and watch, you can read, and you can discuss. Basically, discussion is nothing but a podcast way of learning. And the learner can switch from one learning method to another at any given point in time, depending on their, how they are placed at that particular point. Maybe they want to, they are going for a walk. You can, you can listen, or if you're traveling you can listen to a podcast where two people are discussing. So it could be any way of learning as per the convenience of the learner. Now, looking at the different stages, choose your AI search program. This is the roadmap to becoming a high performing AI portfolio partner. Choose your AI search program to start with: AI developer, executive, business, etc. Tailored APAC, enterprise, academic, and government. You can approach any of them. What the kind of program that you choose and you approach, you know your your learners or your enterprises accordingly. Now the stage 2 becomes where the partnership agreement is signed between AI certs and your training company. We finalize the partnership agreement and the commercial terms. Select the delivery model. You want to become an ATP authorized training partner, academic partner, an association partner, or an affiliate partner. Define the target markets and the certification portfolio, of course. Now, in this particular stage, while we are deciding onto the commercial terms as well, there is a date which will be finalized on when the payment will happen. Post the payment completion is when your onboarding will start. Seamless onboarding, getting now on the day of onboarding itself, you get access to the courseware, partners portal, the exam engine and proctoring, LMS platforms, everything readily available on day one itself. As I said, it's plug and play. We have set up an ecosystem that's ready for you. Stage 4, launch market and demand generation. We would Now, this entire process, when it starts from day one of onboarding, goes up to 40 days. We make you prepared to get ready and launched into the market. We provide you with co-branded marketing. We provide you with co-branded marketing assets like kits, flyers, brochures, where you can place your own logo. They are all editables. We also conduct webinars and co-branded events, as I mentioned earlier, where we provide you with direct business. If somebody walks up to AI certs asking for an instructor-led requirement, we are an out-and-out certification body. We are not a training company. We do not do any kind of trainings. AI certs does not do that. So we pass on that lead to you directly. That's direct business for you. Now, stage five, deliver your first cohorts. Now, 40 to 45 days, we are good to go. Your trainers have been trained. The co-branding has been done. The webinars, co-branded events have happened. We are good to go and deliver the first cohort into the market. It could be instructor-led, online, hybrid, self-paced learning, any. This last and the most important stage, that's when you start scaling up into multiple markets, enterprise, government, or any other new market that you can pick. You can offer multiple certifications, corporate L&D teams. You can approach corporate L&D teams, universities and colleges. Okay. I will be taking up the questions post this. Absolutely. I'm so sorry. I cannot, while I'm sharing my screen, I'm not able to see the questions. I'm so sorry for that. I'll be taking up the questions very soon. Every quarter you wait, another provider locks up the APAC's fastest growing certified AI training market and launches their practice ahead of you. Please pick the model that fits your ambition. We handle the rest. Here's, thank you so much, everybody. Here's the QR code. You can directly scan it, and you can book a meeting with us. We would love to. One of our business development managers would directly get in touch with you. We would love to have a one-on-one meeting with you where we can discuss everything in detail. Here's what you can do. Thank you, everyone. Over to you, Soumya. I can take up the question now.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rajat, for the very insightful session. Uh, there are practical strategies that you've explained on the opportunities in the enterprise AI learning across Australia and New Zealand. So, thank you so much for the insights. Now, we do have a couple of questions. I have shared them in the chat as well. I'll just mark them again. But
Okay.
just to reiterate, the first question is basically regarding our content. So the question is that it's by Belinda Collins, and what she's asking is that do the partners train their own content, or are the partners, training with the content
Training with the
provided by
content
AI
that we
certs?
okay. Let me answer this question, Ms. Belinda. Now, what happens is you can when you get access to our content. See, we have a readily built content that's available here. Now, if you have an existing content, you can combine and deliver both because sorry, because you're going to do an instructor-led delivery or a virtual instructor-led delivery. So when you get once you become a partner, once you get onboarded with us, you get access to our content. Now you can mix and match. In an ILT or a VILT environment, you can deliver both content. You can merge the content if required, and that's how it can be delivered in both ways.
Belinda, I hope that answers your question. And Rajat, the next question is by Abhishek, and it is on the operating model. So, what Abhishek is asking is that what is the operating model? Who curates and updates the courses? How
I
do
need
you
to.
compete with Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, Microsoft certifications, and cloud providers when they have their own programs, often subsidized of free with
Free of the
licenses?
license.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I got the question. Absolutely. So the operating model, our operating model is very simple. So we have practically almost around 100 SMEs who are PhD holders, doctorates from different, diversified, backgrounds. We Now, if you were talking about Udemy and LinkedIn Learning, if you look at their courses, they are only providing you with course completion certificate, which the value, if you go back and look into the market, Mr. Abhishek, it has a lot of limitation. I'm talking typically of the course completion certificate value. What we are providing you here in comparison is a that you are certified. And as I said, we are compliant to ISO 17024 2012. That's the compliance that we follow. All our certifications that you see are compliant to this particular standard. And of course, we also comply with American National Accreditation Board. So these compliances add a lot of value because we are not providing a course completion certificate. We are certifying the learners. The certificate that they get are the ones where they'll be it's written that now you are certified, because the final exam that the learners would appear for, they have to achieve they have to mandatorily achieve 70% to get that certificate. Now a Udemy or a LinkedIn Learning, I have done a lot of courses from there myself, even Coursera for that matter. They don't offer something on those lines. You just complete the course, you got a course completion, and you're done. Where's the value addition? I'm not undermining any of these channels, but then again, as I said, we are just not providing a certificate here. We are looking at the knowledge retention. I hope that answers to a certain extent.
Okay, great. Thank you, Rajat. So we've answered the questions, the most common questions, but if we did not get your question, the partnership consultant booking link is in the chat, and we'll be glad to continue the conversation. With this,
Absolutely.
I would like to thank Rajat again for those insights and practical strategies on the opportunities in enterprise AI learning across the Australia and New Zealand region. And thank you, everyone, for your time and engagement. We look forward to welcoming you to the future AI Certs webinars. With that, we would be closing the webinar. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.